Joan Rivers said that Michelle Obama was a man before she died.
Was it a joke? I thought it was a joke.
I thought it was a joke too, but the way she said it wasn't like jokey. She was like, oh, come on, everybody knows Michelle Obama's a man.
Michelle Obama surprised fans on our new podcast by saying her pet peeve about her husband is that he's chronically late. For example, we're still waiting on him to admit he's from Kenya. And as for Barack's pet peeve about Michelle, he's mad that she keeps leaving the toilet seat up. When she cleans it. When she cleans it.
Whether Michelle Obama is untouchable is not the true question. It's how Greg Gutfeld and Joe Rogan effortlessly destroyed her reputation in the public EYE'd in one moment. She is the most adored book club queen in America. The next, she's avoiding Rogan's cruel one-liners and unrepentant barbs like it's a game of rhetorical dodgeball in the White House gym. Instead of merely exposing flaws in her legacy, they completely destroyed the story and wrapped it in irony. What did they find that caused Michelle to go silent? Oh, this is uglier than the outcry over her school meal program.
Joe Rogan is calling out Oprah and Michelle Obama for hypocritical speeches at the DNC Watch.
She's up there talking about income inequality. Like, hey, lady.
Yeah, I know.
You're rich as Like, how is that equal? And also, when Michelle Obama was saying, I think she was saying her mother or grandmother was always suspicious of people who took more than they needed.
Yes.
Like,
Yeah.
you are worth so much money.
Take more than they need. The Obamas have 4 mansions.
I mean, it's a bunch of rich people talking about rich.
At one point, Michelle Obama attempted to persuade a whole generation that school lunches consisting of quinoa mush and wilted spinach were revolutionary. Soggy kale and mystery lentils are at the forefront of a gastronomic revolution. That isn't a medical plan. It's a taste bud war crime. Despite this, she walked out with her salad tongs as if she were carrying chickpeas and attacking Normandy.
President dies, everyone in the world shows up, and she doesn't break her vacation. It's not like she doesn't have access to a jet. Something is going on. Let's speculate.
Yes, please.
It's either surgery. That was my least controversial thing. She will not sit close to the dictator. And by that I don't mean Hillary, I mean Donald Trump. Or there's trouble in paradise between Barack and Michelle. I've heard things. I'm not going to substantiate that by repeating these rumors on national TV like I just did. But I'm just saying it's very odd that she's not there.
Yeah, we should ask Mike.
Here come Greg Gutfeld and Joe Rogan. Nobody placed an order for the unusual couple, but they are the only ones who aren't scared to speak what everyone else is muttering behind their green smoothies. Pinterest slogans are used throughout Michelle Obama's whole brand. Hypocrisy in yoga poses and the longest TED lecture ever presented as a legacy.
We already have it with Obama, so let's just calm down.
Got it.
No, Michelle is a trans. Transgender. We all know.
It's pretty funny how she said it.
Okay, we all...
Let's clarify one issue. This isn't about disparaging a previous First Lady, rather it's about exposing the weaponized sanctimony of a woman who somehow made drinking water a virtue and a character attribute. You would assume that she created H2O herself. Meanwhile, the rest of us were merely attempting to prevent our children from using the school cafeteria's illegal black market to exchange celery sticks for real food.
Michelle Obama has openly admitted that she and Barack sleep in separate bedrooms. Here's how it works. She sleeps downstairs, and he likes men.
When Greg Gutfeld described the exquisite irony of Michelle's health campaign while her own events looked like Whole Foods erupted on a White House plate, he practically choked on laughter because he never wanted to pass up a nice political buffet. Edible certainly, but organic before someone calls the cops, you can only dress up so much that you can't beat hummus.
Just good to see everybody having a good time. The country's almost back to normal before World War III. COVID was just so strange. We lost a lot of people during COVID, and most of them are still alive. Yeah. Before COVID, I would have told you that vaccines are the most important invention in human history. After COVID, I'm like, I don't think we went to the moon. I think Michelle Obama's got a dick. I think Pizzagate is real. I think there's direct
Then there is Joe Rogan, a man who used slapping sacred cows in the udder to build an empire from podcasts. Naturally, Michelle was the smug progressivism's golden calf due to her meticulously manicured image. After showing off her biceps, as if she were trying out for a Marvel film, the woman gives a speech about the risks of celebrating her paradise. Eating a piece of pizza turns into a crime. What is the calorie count on self-righteousness? And let's not even get started on her Netflix deals. Rogan couldn't help but ponder, don't wait. Without a doubt, let's begin. Signing multi-million-dollar production deals with the delicacy of a wrecking ball wrapped in cash is the epitome of "I'm Just Like You." Her documentary is essentially a spiritual trip through her own ego, interspersed with slow-motion footage of her acting like Moses as she walks past crowds. A sea of peasants being parted. The sardonic goblin of late-night Greg Gutfeld had no issue exposing Michelle's facade of soft focus. Every time she appears in public, the lighting is more important than the reason. Motivational sludge permeates the lectures, which resemble a Tony Robbins conference delivered in a Whole Foods parking lot. Undoubtedly inspirational, not very helpful unless you want to use a Fitbit and monogram stationery to solve all of your problems.
Michelle thinks American men suck.
Let me warn you, your rage does not exist in a vacuum. If we don't get this election right, your wife, your daughter, your mother, we as women will become collateral damage to your rage. To make these choices clear to the men that we love, our lives are worth more than their anger and disappointment.
What's that pitter-patter sound I'm hearing in the background? It's the footsteps of Barack running to vote for Trump.
Furthermore, we haven't even brought up the fact that we raise the line when they go low. In political history, that may be the most passive-aggressive slogan. Translation: this bumper sticker shows that we are superior to you. Michelle is now marketing the audiobook in 5 languages after selling it in hardcover and thus copywriting moral superiority. Joe Rogan, meanwhile, was over there, elevating his eyebrows as if they were gym weights. Without ever providing any meaningful answers, he has remained dubious of Michelle's remarkable transition from First Lady to self-help guru to cultural hero. Can we obtain GPS directions for finding our voice, or do we just follow the aroma of expensive candles? For example, how do we get from lettuce commercials to in-depth philosophical dissertations on the subject? Michelle's public persona is so meticulously crafted that Barbie appears to be a documentary. The well-practiced, unplanned giggles are backlit by the gentle focus of the yoga poses. It's like viewing an inspirational poster that is alive and breathing. Between eating more kale and laughing and loving, she is grinning with the subdued malice of someone who undoubtedly scrutinizes your shopping cart.
Someone put on Instagram that Tim Dillon's video where he was saying that Michelle Obama should run for president. If she won, she could pull her cock out and China would just give up. I was fucking wheezing. I couldn't breathe. Big Mike. Big Mike.
Michelle's transition from First Lady to international brand ambassador of meaningless platitudes was a field day for Gutfeld. Her LinkedIn-level empowerment counsel made him shake his head so much that he almost required a neck brace. Thank you, Michelle. You should cover the rent. Have faith in yourself. What'll happen to your credit score next? Let's speak about your clothes. Michelle Obama's style choices have received the same recognition as their diplomatic accomplishments. After CNN went crazy, she broke the news by wearing a belt. There were entire op-eds over a cardigan. You would assume she was sewing peace treaties in the Lincoln bedroom while wearing a cardigan. The question that Greg Gutfeld posed was obvious. When did Banana Republic start making political statements? Her memoir, which is so full of experiences and revelations that it could be used as a yoga mat, comes next. Each page reads like an inspirational lecture with lofty Instagram captions and hazy tragedy. IT has a hardback spine and is more of a lifestyle blog than an autobiography. In order to feel like a guy again after reading that, Rogan apparently had to walk outside, touch the grass, and watch Roadhouse again.
So, Kat, they know that they're having a hard time with men. Doesn't seem like this is the right strategy.
No.
She basically says that they're hurting women by voting for Trump.
But I think they don't understand that where it comes from in the first place is that people are sick of being told how bad they are and talked down to, and you know, the condescension doesn't work. None of what they're doing really works. I mean, the Walls AOC live stream of them playing Madden together was supposed to be to get like dudes who like football on their side, and they did it during football.
However, Michelle's most remarkable achievement is that she was able to play the underdog while actually residing in palaces. She discusses the hardships of living in mansions with 6-car garages. IT resembles Marie Antoinette's minimalist TED lecture. IT was best summed up by Gutfeld. Probably running out of Whole Foods organic quinoa is her definition of difficulty. Remember how Michelle made herself seem like the approachable First Lady? Nothing says down to earth like personalized chandeliers, carefully managed guest lists, and Navy SEAL trained security. She claims to be just a mother, but for her Instagram captions, she also has a personal chef, a stylist team, and a media consultant. Michelle's public presence, according to Rogan, is like a single lengthy episode of The View without the civility of commercial breaks. Each line is roasted until beige and wrapped in gentle moralism. All over the place, it's political tofu that is boring and pompous. Then there is her media attention. IT would be considered a defiant gesture of power for the woman to sneeze in the face of patriarchal pollen. Gutfeld made fun of the media for portraying Michelle as a cross between Beyoncé and Gandhi. The continual gushing coverage is so suspicious. Why is she concealing a carb? While the rest of us are still healing from the trauma of eating apple slices for lunch at school that taste like packing foam, Michelle wants to teach America how to be healthy. This made Roger giggle. You cannot use lentil loaf to traumatize kids and then claim to be a cultural prophet. Culinary gaslighting is what that is.
Rumors continue to escalate for the Obamas. Hopefully they can settle it like men.
Furthermore, Michelle Obama's greatest talent, let's face it, is creating the appearance of doing everything while saying nothing at all. All speeches are word salads with just enough nuggets of significance to make the audience feel as though they are eating something meaningful. In the meantime, Rogan pondered whether the actual lunch was provided backstage, most likely by Skylar, who is dressed in a gluten-free apron. The idea of Michelle's unifying influence was particularly amusing to Gutfeld. AS. If the key to national cohesion is someone who polarizes people more than pineapple on pizza, her brand emphasizes selective enlightenment over oneness. She is a beacon of light that only shines for people who share her beliefs and don't even attempt to discuss her fitness objectives. More than the creator of stairs, this woman promoted lunges. Exercise somehow turned into a political issue. You contributed to the national obesity issue if you didn't want to perform planks in your living room while she scowled at you from your TV. A donut somewhere wept itself to sleep, according to a joke made by Gutfeld. Joe Rogan couldn't help but comment on how tired Michelle Obama's relentlessly uplifting persona is. She is comparable to being made to join a book club you did not sign up for. In the human world, every message is an opportunity to learn, even if serenity and a cheeseburger were your only desires.
Even if they run Michelle. According to a new poll, Michelle Obama isn't as strong a Democratic candidate against former President Donald Trump as many Dems would have you believe. In a hypothetical matchup, my favorite kind, Trump wins with 47% of the vote compared to Michelle Obama's 44%. I guess some of the kids whose school lunches she rode are finally old enough to vote.
Even her podcast, she obviously does therapy sessions for folks who have never been told no, which is why she has a podcast. The only lesson to be learned from each episode, which is a warm bath of pseudo-knowledge, is that Michelle has once again surpassed the rest of us in evolution. Playing clips, Rogan felt he could hear the secondhand condescension, making him sound older. Gutfeld made fun of Michelle Obama's planned library, saying it would just have her books neatly placed next to essential oils. And affirmation stones like a cross between Mother Teresa and Oprah with a better arm tone. Proof of emotional vulnerability and a detox smoothie are likely required for entry. Being everywhere without actually being anywhere is a skill that Michelle Obama has perfected. Her presence is pervasive that IT selects you, not the other way around. She is the spiritual counterpart of the familiar calming and subtly manipulative background jazz at a farmer's market. Michelle's perfume, Rogan joked, would smell like cooked broccoli and moral superiority, perhaps with a trace of filtered authenticity. Gutfeld also mentioned that it would only be accessible to those who complete her 12-week wellness challenge, which involves burpees. and that it would come in a bottle fashioned like a recycled globe, and maybe the last piece of ridiculousness. There are rumors, whispers, and ridiculous assertions coming from conspiracy caves that Michelle is preparing to run for office because Gutfeld supposedly laughs so hard he almost falls off his chair when you've lectured America about lunges, and living your truth. What's next for the country? Because nothing says political outsider like spending 16 years in the world's most influential rooms.
None of what they're doing really works. I mean, the Walls AOC live stream of them playing Madden together was supposed to be to get like dudes who like football on their side, and they did it during football. Like, who's consulting them on this stuff?
Yeah. It's
a woman, probably, also.
It's a gay man.
What have we discovered then? The queen of curated struggle is Michelle Obama, the first lady of filtered authenticity and the empress of empowerment terms, and because of Rogan and Gutfeld, the facade has been lifted, exposing a careful brand manager masquerading as a motivating guru rather than a monster or a genius. If all else fails, she will likely publish a new book called Still Becoming the Journey to Journeying, which will contain 300 pages of metaphors about sunrises, salad stories, bonus content, an inspirational playlist, and a low-calorie dressing recipe that tastes like regret. She is the type of person who will chastise you for not loving spinach enough. Now, keep in mind that she goes high as others go low, but the altitude will cost you $29.99. And not only did Michelle Obama reinvent herself, but she also franchised it, becoming the Oprah of broccoli, the Dalai Lama of dumbbells, and the spiritual mastermind behind completing the task, even if it's only filtering selfies and dropping resilience. The inconsistencies never stop. Even if every appearance is a masterful performance, meticulously crafted like those arms the media can't stop ogling, she advocates for togetherness, while establishing a brand on carefully chosen division promotes humility while soaking up designer accolades, and advocates for simplicity while dining like a Michelin critic. Michelle's ability to seem insightful while talking almost nothing akin to a TED lecture about clouds was noted by Rogan. Not far behind, Gutfeld slammed the echo chamber effect that follows Hillary everywhere like a devoted puppy. IT is never criticism. Rather, it is adoration, not commentary, and it is canonization. She has turned into a one-woman show of sugar-coated smuggling with flawless anecdotes. Every hardship is easily related, and every photo opportunity captures the ideal moment of moral superiority. Michelle would have 5 gold medals, a documentary about her journey, and a line of vegan protein bars called Authenticity. Bites if branding were an Olympic event. And for some reason, no one is permitted to inquire as to what we are clapping.